Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Watchlist. Watchlist is basically, think of this as like your monthly TV guide where I tell you about some of the stuff that's coming up this month. In this particular case, the month of July, that I'm interested in, as well as stuff that might be of interest to you. On July 5th, we have the series premiere of Snowfall on FX. Now, if you're looking for something a little more on the like crime drama front, I feel like this might kind of scratch that itch for you. From the little bit I've seen like only a few previews here and there. Basically, the premise I see so far is like how crack was introduced, is like how it was, created by like, I think it was by the FBI and stuff like that. Maybe it's not like a documentary, it's just like a crime drama show, kind of like along the same lines of probably like the People versus O.J. Simpson type of thing. Like not exactly the same tone, but you get what I'm trying to say, hopefully. On July 10th, we have the series premiere of a TV show called Will on TNT. It seems to be like a period piece that focuses on William Shakespeare. It's not like a documentary type of thing. It is just kind of like a straight out drama of like, oh, this is his life, some of the stuff he went through. Like I said, pure on period piece. So if I had to compare it to anything, I think it's probably closer to like Marco Polo, maybe in like its tone and everything. Maybe, I don't know. Like I've seen like only like one commercial from it, like on a YouTube app and everything. I mean, it seems kind of interesting. So, which kind of reminds me, since I brought up Marco Polo, I still need to go back and finish that second season. Well, even start of the second season. But nevertheless, that's something very interesting coming out on TNT. So, I mean, maybe that might pique your interest. On July 12th, we had the season premiere of Suits, which is awesome. But sadly, I am not caught up on Suits. I have fallen far behind on Suits. I think the last season I watched was season 2. I'm not even sure what season this is. This might be like season 6 maybe at this point. I'm super far behind. It's a show that I need to like get back into. I really like the show from what I've seen of it up to season 2, but it's just like other things happen and I got far behind. I just haven't caught up yet. And now that I'm thinking about it, I need to catch up on Royal Pains. That's something I'm probably have to do that. The same thing with it and Suits. I'll probably have to rewatch both of them from the very beginning because I got like super far behind on Royal Pains too, just because I'm on the USA TV shows thing. So, and on that same day too, we have the series premiere of Salvation, a new show on CBS. It seems like the basic premise is like an asteroid is coming to Earth and it's like Earth getting prepared for it. Like I don't know like how the scale of the series is going to be, whether it's going to be like kind of like all over the world type of thing. Like there's the that TNT show The Last Ship. I don't know if it's going to coincide like that where it's like all nations kind of like dealing with it, or is it you're just going to focus on maybe like the North American like dealing with it type of thing, or is it just going to be like a cutting back and forth between worldwide, all the different nations and countries working together to try and deal with this situation? Like I said, I've seen like one commercial about it, but I haven't really dived too deeply into it. So, and on July 13th, we had the series premiere of a TV show called Hooten and the Lady on the CW. Basically, it seems like it's just like a treasure hunting show from what I've seen. Like they just go on misadventures. Maybe not necessarily Indiana Jones-esque, but that's like the closest thing I can really think of in comparison, like comparing it to. It seems like it might have that type of vibe to it, maybe. An interesting thing is when it comes to the acting in the show, like I seen at least one of the actresses in the show is Jane Seymour, which is pretty cool, but also is one of the two leads in it. One is, I think her name is Ophelia Lovibond. I know I'm probably like butchering her last name. It might be like Lavibond. I apologize for that. Obviously, I know her as, Kitty on Elementary. If you've never watched Elementary, I highly recommend you watch it. She played one of a recurring character in season 3. She was actually one of the main cast members in season 3, and she subsequently, her character popped up again back in season 5. I don't know what it is, but there's something about her, like I feel like I vaguely remember seeing her in something else. I even looked her up on Wikipedia to look at all the stuff she's been in, and I wasn't 100% sure. Apparently there's a character she's played in the second Thor movie, as well as the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I didn't bother looking up the picture of it because I was like going to the Wikipedia article of that character, but it didn't pop up or whatever. So I was like, I didn't really dive too deeply in it. So I don't know if it's that, but I feel like there was something else specifically I remember her from. I just can't quite place it. But her co-star in that show is, I would assume his name's, like, last name is Landis. It's Michael Landis. I'm going to go with Landis. But he's been in different things. Like, I know him specifically from Final Destination 2, as well as a TV show called Special Unit 2, I think. Basically, it's like, in that particular case, it's like, oh yeah, they're a secret organization that hunts monsters and creatures and stuff like that. From my recollection, it was very short-lived. I think it might have had only one season, maybe 2, but if you ever feel the need to, I highly recommend you check it out. It's quite an old show. It came out like 2002, 2003. It was definitely like early 2000s, so it was very good for my recollection. So like I said, aside from the fact is it was like super short-lived. So an interesting thing about the show too, also Hooter and the Lady, is the fact is that it's actually not necessarily a new show. It's actually been out a little while because it originally aired on Sky One. It's a British channel, and now it's coming here to the States on the CW. And I guess it's kind of similar to the whole Class, the TV show Class, the spin-off of Doctor Who. It, you know, aired on like one of the BBC channels, but then like obviously it came here in the States on BBC America. So I think it kind of works kind of similar like that. It's always interesting when stuff like that happens. And on July 16th, we have the season premiere of Game of Thrones, season 7. I have mentioned this recently in a video. I don't remember what particular video, but I have never watched Game of Thrones. I've seen pieces of it here and there. I've heard people talk about it. It's a show that I know if I took the time out to watch it, I would really like it because it's fantasy, and I like medieval fantasy stuff. Like, I think I've mentioned that before too, but it's just I've not dedicated the time to check it out. It's probably one of those shows that I'll probably wait till it's over and then just like binge on the entire thing. So I'm always kind of the late to the showing up to watching certain things. I think I've kind of talked about that a little bit in the past. It's like Breaking Bad. I didn't start watching Breaking Bad until like roughly until like after like the first half of the final season had aired, like had come to an end. So, you know, I'm always kind of late to show on certain things. So I'll probably most likely end up doing that. So like I said, it seems very interesting, just have a dedicated time. And you know me, I don't read books either, so it's not like I've read the books that, you know, they're based on anyway. So even though I know the TV show and the books are very different, especially at later points in the series. So like I said, just including that for anyone that might be like super hyped for Game of Thrones. And on July 24th, we have a new NBC show called Midnight Texas. Now, I really don't know too much about it because I watched a like preview of it like back at the end of March, because it was like right after the final episode of Grimm ended. Like it showed a preview of it. I guess in my mind I'm thinking like, oh, is this supposed to be kind of like a new kind of Grimm replacement in the lineup of things? But basically it seems like the main character is kind of like, it kind of reminds me kind of Constantine a little bit. Interestingly enough, another NBC show, sadly short-lived. That's a whole thing, which kind of makes me think a little bit. I mean, we saw a little crossover there in Arrow last season. I mean, it might be kind of sticking away from the whole magic storyline, so that might not be something we'll see. Hopefully that kind of pops up in the future in some shape or form, but nevertheless, it seems like the main character can kind of see ghosts and stuff like that, and it's him trying to help deal with ghosts. It seems like he's also surrounded by other like non-human things, maybe people with powers or non-human things. I don't know. Like I said, I watched the preview like a few months ago. That was like I said back at the end of March, so I don't remember what I saw. Like I haven't looked anything up too much for it. I just like obviously looking it up to make sure like the dates were correct, because sometimes I look things up and I'm like, yeah, the dates are wrong on certain, like, you know, depending on what websites you go on to confirm with certain things. But nevertheless, it seems very interesting. I do know it's based on a book. I don't know if it's like a series or book or just one in particular. And also on that same day, we have a new ABC show called Somewhere Between. This has Paula Patton as well as Devon Sawa in it. And it seems like the basic premise of the show is like, hey, like this woman's daughter gets murdered, and basically she time travels back to kind of deal with the whole situation, trying to like change her daughter's fate is kind of what I've read. It's actually based on a Korean mystery show, kind of with the same premise, called God's Gift, 14 Days. 14 days because that's how far back in time she went. Now, I don't know like how much the time travel aspect is going to play into it. Is it going to be like a frequency thing? Well, frequency is kind of a weird example to kind of use, but is it like the time travel thing just a one-off thing, or does she get tries over and over again? I mean, it seems like a very interesting premise that I'm interested in checking out, especially, you know, I guess it can fill that sort of time after time hole in my heart. And that is the last thing I had on my list. Like always, if you feel like there's something else I might not have included on the list that you may know about that I don't know about, or maybe I forgot about, let me know in the comments down below. You know, not just me, but as well as anyone else that might come across this video, stuff like, oh, you should, you know, check this out too, because this is coming out this month too. So, but really, that's all I want to talk about in this video. To the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.